professor at University Multimedia Nusantara, Indonesia. Specializing in hospitality and tourism management, Dr. Situmorang is a respected scholar known for his research and academic leadership in the areas of digital business, innovation, and emerging technologies in management. His work focuses on the integration of technology with business strategy, making his insights highly relevant to our conference theme centered on analytics, AI, and sustainable entrepreneurial ecosystem. With a strong academic profile, his research impact includes 8 Scopus Index publications with over 180 citations and more than 30 Google Scholar papers. May I request the IT and acoustic team to play the recording of Dr. Rinker Situmorang?
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for the opportunity to present today at the International Conference on Business Management under the inspiring theme of Business Analytics and Artificial Intelligence. My name is Rinker Situmorang, and I'm a full-time lecturer and researcher in the Faculty of Business at Universitas Multimedia Nusantara, Indonesia. Today's topic is sustainability and entrepreneurship in Indonesia. Harnessing business analytics and artificial intelligence for green growth, aligning directly with Indonesia Net Zero 2060 ambitions and the rapidly emerging era of AI-driven business transformation. Let's begin. In the next 15 minutes, I will guide you through 8 key sections. First, what sustainable entrepreneurship really means and why it matters. Then, a snapshot of Indonesia entrepreneurial and sustainability landscape. We will look at the persistent green adoption gap, especially among MSMEs. Next, how business analytics forms the essential foundation. Then, the powerful role of the artificial intelligence backed by national initiatives. I will share real Indonesian case studies where AI is already making a difference. We will discuss opportunities, challenges, and practical recommendations. And finally, a conclusion with a clear call to actions. This structure keeps us focused on actionable insights tied to the conference theme. So, what is exactly sustainable entrepreneurships? At its core, it means building ventures that deliver economic success while actively protecting the environment and creating positive social impact. The classic triple bottom line of people, planet, and profit. These entrepreneurs drive innovation in areas like the circular economy, renewable energy, waste reduction, and climate-resilient business models. In Indonesia, this approach directly supports our national commitments to the Sustainable Development Goals and our legally binding target of net zero emissions by 2060. From a business perspective, sustainable entrepreneurship is no longer just nice to have. It builds long-term competitive advantage, open access to green finance, attract ESG-focused international investors, and future-proofs company against tightening regulations and shifting consumer expectations. In short, it is the future of responsible and profitable entrepreneurships, especially in emerging markets like ours. Let's look at the big picture in Indonesia today. We have more than 56 micro, small, and medium enterprises, or MSMEs, contributing roughly 61% of our national GDP, equivalent to 8.57 quadrillion rupiah, and employing 97% of the workforce. On the startup side, as of mid-2025, Indonesia ranks 6th globally with over 3,161 active startups, a vibrant ecosystem that continues to grow. At the policy level, the government is fully committed. Net zero emissions by 2060, achieving FOLU NetSync by 2030, and a brand new national AI roadmap spanning from 2025 to 2045 that prioritize ethical, inclusive AI development. The economy upside is enormous. Credible estimates suggest that accelerating the green transition could add 6.1 to 6.5% to annual GDP growth and create up to 1.8 million green jobs by 2030. Indonesia clearly has scale, ambition, and potential, but we also face a critical implementation challenge. That challenge is most visible in what researchers call the green adoption gap. A major 2024-2025 study by Universitas Gadjah Mada, Yogyakarta, Faculty of Economics and Business, involving 631 MSMEs across agriculture, trade, and manufacturing, delivered sobering results. 87.81% of these businesses have not adopted any meaningful green practices. Only 12.19% have implemented them partially. So what's the main barriers? It's the lack of affordable green financing, high upfront cost, limited knowledge and technical capacity, inadequate infrastructure, and still weak market demand for sustainable products. Meanwhile, MSME emissions in Indonesia are estimated at around 216 million tons of carbon dioxide equivalent per year, roughly 2/3 of total industrial emissions. This is not just an environmental issue, it is a massive missed business opportunity. And this is precisely where business analytics and artificial intelligence can close the gap with measurable, cost-effective impact. Business analytics is the essential first layer. It gives Indonesian entrepreneurs, especially MSMEs, the tools to move from intuition to evidence-based decision. Some practical examples include: first, real-time ESG and carbon footprint dashboards that track emissions and resource use. Second, supply chain optimization models that reduce waste and predict demand more accurately. The third one, cloud-based accounting information systems specifically designed for SMEs, which recent Indonesian studies have shown significantly improve sustainable performance by making data visible and actionable. And how about the result? Well, the result is have to lower operating costs, better risk management, stronger investor appeal, and credible green claims that open doors to international market and finance. Analytics turns scattered data into clear, strategic sustainability intelligence, the perfect foundation before layering on more advanced AI capability. Okay, now we arrive at artificial intelligence, the accelerator that takes sustainability to scale. In Indonesia, relevant AI applications include: first, predictive analytics for disaster resilience, such as forecasting landslides or floods in vulnerable areas. Two, precision agriculture tools that optimize crop yields while minimizing fertilizer and water waste. Third, smart waste management and circular economy platforms that improve recycling rates and resource recovery. The fourth one, energy efficiency algorithms that integrate renewable into microgrids and industrial operation. Importantly, this is not theoretical. National support is already in place. The National AI Roadmap 2025 to 2045 explicitly prioritize food security, smart cities, climate resilience, and ethical AI. Microsoft Elevate Indonesia program, now in its second year, has already trained over 1.2 million people in AI skills since late 2024, with a new target of 500,000 certified talents, especially educators, non-profit leaders, and community champions by 2026. These efforts show that AI for sustainability is a national priority, not a distant vision. Let me share 3 concrete Indonesian examples that brings this to life. First, G-Connect project, which is a collaboration between Universitas Gadjah Mada and Microsoft Azure. In landslide-prone Wonogiri, the team installed over 30 solar-powered soil sensors. Data feeds into Power Business Intelligence dashboard on the cloud, detecting early movement patterns. When risk rises, alerts go out in as little as 7 minutes via WhatsApp and MOSH loudspeakers. This system had already saved lives and empowered communities to read and respond to the data themselves. Second, researchers Esther Rosdiana Sinaga work applies AI and genomics for climate-resilient agriculture, improving banana, cacao, and coffee varieties, while slashing fertilizer and pesticide use, directly supporting national food security goals. Third, Indonesia growing green tech ecosystems include more than 300 clean tech startups. Companies like Waste for Change and Azura Indonesia use IoT, analytics, and circular models to transform waste into value. These cases demonstrate that analytics plus AI delivers real social impact, business resilience, and environmental gains right here, right now. So where do we stand? Opportunities are strong. AI-related startup investment in Indonesia surged dramatically in recent years. Green MSMEs incentives, such as tax breaks, green loans, regulatory sandboxes, are expanding, and international climate finance is increasingly available for verified sustainable projects. And then what the challenge? The challenge is only a small percentage of business currently use AI at an advanced level, and significant data and digital infrastructure gaps persist outside Java. There are a few recommendations which are practical and immediate. For entrepreneurs and MSMEs, start small with free or low-cost cloud-based analytic tools. Join Elevalte Indonesia hackathons or training cohorts, and experiment with open-source ESG dashboards. For policymakers and university, scale grain innovation hubs nationwide. Make ESG analytics and AI literacy mandatory in business curricula, and create more public-private partnership to bridge the digital divide. The tool exists. We just need faster, wider adoption. Now we arrive at my conclusion. Indonesia's vast entrepreneurial base, when empowered with business analytics and artificial intelligence, can drive sustainable, competitive, and inclusive growth toward our net zero 2060 vision. By equipping MSMEs with data-driven green tools, we don't just survive climate change. We position Indonesia to lead the green economy across Southeast Asia. Thank you very much for your attention. Terima kasih.
याचं कुठे गेलंय? Am I audible? Yes. So, placing on record a big thank you to Professor Situ Morang for that insightful and globally relevant perspective. Sir, your thoughts have certainly added an international dimension to our academic discussions for today. Next, we move on to the next plenary and final plenary session of this segment. It is a matter of great privilege for us to introduce Dr. Yashwant Thorat. Dr. Yashwant Thorat, former chairman of NABARD and an eminent economist, a former executive director at Reserve Bank of India. He has contributed significantly to India's rural finance and agricultural policy. Post-retirement, he continues to guide industry as a board member of leading companies including Britannia Industries and Bombay Dyeing. I request the IT team to play the recording of Dr. YSR Thorat. Thank you.
Respected Chair, esteemed members of the audience, Namaskar. Let me begin by apologizing for not being in person with you. When I first received the invitation for this conference, I was genuinely delighted. On the other hand, when I discovered that I would also be expected to speak, my immediate reaction was to look for an escape route. Unfortunately, I discovered that once you say yes to Shalaka, there is no way of getting out of it. So here I am. Let me be honest. I have no real claim to be at this international conference. I am not a tenured professor, nor do I hold a PhD in artificial intelligence or business analytics. My only credentials are curiosity and a little understanding gathered by making every conceivable mistake in the search for meaning. However, these mistakes couldn't possibly have been the reasons for the organizers inviting me for this event. While thinking over matters, it occurs to me that though I do not have domain knowledge, I nevertheless have doubts about the technological transformations going on around us. So, the only honest thing I can do is to share these doubts with you, somewhat in the spirit of Albert Camus, who, on being awarded the Nobel Peace Prize for Literature in 1957, told the distinguished assembly at Stockholm that he had nothing to offer them except his doubts. The doubts that troubled Camus concerned freedom. He had witnessed countless men and women, among them the educated and the intellectually accomplished, surrender their independent judgment to fear, coercion, the pressure of collective opinion, moral weakness, and brainwashing. Under the dictatorships of Franco, Hitler, Spain, Stalin, and Mussolini. After the war and the devastation, the people realized that the loss of freedom had occurred not only because of external oppression, but because they had voluntarily abdicated the moral courage to say no to what was happening around them. Now it was clear that the lost freedom had to be regained. But that regaining would mean more than replacing a dictatorship with a democracy. The lesson was that freedom did not become safe simply because one kind of government was replaced by another. The truth was that freedom remained fragile so long as individuals allowed someone else or something else to think for them. On the other hand, freedom remained safe when ordinary citizens were able to stand up to any system that tried to do their thinking, make their decisions, or exercise their choices for them. You must be wondering why I am talking about the loss of individual freedom at a conference on artificial intelligence and business analytics. There is a reason for this. And the reason is that even as we are speaking, we stand at the threshold of an era driven by artificial intelligence, in which many of the world's leading thinkers believe that unless we rethink matters, our freedom, both public and private, could once again be at risk. If we could only fast forward Camus to our own age of algorithms and data and ask him for advice, what would he say? He would not rush to take sides, but he would point to thinkers like Yuval Noah Harari, who argue that before humanity embraces AI, it should first understand the implications of accepting it without restraint or without regulation. So let us try and do this. Over the past few years, we have all been told a very exciting story about artificial intelligence. It is the story of a tool that can see patterns which we cannot. It can make predictions faster than any human being. It can help us to solve problems that once felt impossible. In business schools and startups, AI is described as a kind of superpower. It can help you to find new markets, design new products, and even build companies that are profitable and sustainable in record time. There is truth in this story. AI and advanced analytics are already helping to reduce waste in supply chains, optimize energy use in buildings, improve crop yields, and design more efficient business models. They are also helping entrepreneurs to test ideas far more quickly than they ever could in the past, understand customer behavior, and take risks in a hugely informed way. So if you are a graduate student sitting here today, you would be right to think that your future, your career, your research, your startup will be greatly enriched by how creatively you can work with these new tools. But there is also another side to this story, which is less glamorous and darker. The story is that the same systems that help us to understand markets can also be used to understand you, understand your habits, understand your strengths and your weaknesses, your fears, your aspirations, much better than you can understand them yourself. The same tools that recommend a book or a video can sometimes quietly direct your emotions, your attention, even your political opinions in a particular direction. The same data that helps a company to reduce its carbon footprint can also be used to monitor employees, quite secretly, minute by minute, or to exclude certain groups from opportunities without anyone having explicitly decided to do so. This being the case, would it not be sensible to pause and ask whether in the world of AI-driven efficiency, prediction, optimization, whether in such a world, human freedom will remain intact? Please be clear. I am not talking about the freedom from a textbook. I am talking about freedom in everyday commonplace life. Freedom that pertains to you and me. The freedom to decide what kind of a movie you will see, what kind of a pizza you will have, what kind of a job you will take, or what kind of a person you will marry. On the surface, of course, nothing will change. Nothing at all. Everything will be very much the same. We will still hold our phones click the same buttons, and believe that the decisions taken are ours and by us. The apps that we download will speak the language of help and convenience. Let me find the best route for you, the best dress, the best hamburger, and even the best life partner. And the truth is that very, very often these apps will really make life easier for us. And it would be silly to deny that. But it is also equally true that beneath all the help and convenience, something else will also be happening, quietly and invisibly. We will be given choices and recommendations, and very soon we will become comfortable with being guided in this way. In the technical language of neuroscience, this process will gradually diminish our capacity for critical self-determination and prepare us unconsciously to surrender our freedom once again. This time, not to a dictator. This time, not to a Hitler. This time, to a vastly powerful, transformative, artificial intelligent machinery and technology. This may sound like a conspiracy theory, but that is not the object of this talk. The idea is not to discredit AI, but to request that the next time you choose from the menu on your mobile or on your laptop, ask yourself, is this truly my desire? Or has it been gently planted inside me? My worry is that for a generation that has grown up with a mobile and a laptop screen in their hands, a generation which has been immersed in a constant world of suggestions and nudges, the answer is likely to be yes, it is truly my choice. Whereas the right response would have been no, I am not sure. One contemporary writer and historian of international fame who has tried to put this worry into strong words is Yuval Noah Harari. He says quite bluntly that with enough data and enough computing power, human beings can be hacked in the same way that systems are regularly hacked. The logic is that if a system knows your habits, your fears, your moods, your medical history, your friendships, your girlfriends, and your research history, it can predict how you will react. And then, knowing your levers, it may well push you in a direction of its own choice. Harari's fear is not of a science fiction movie where robots march in streets. His fear is that a small number of companies or governments holding vast amounts of data and running powerful AI systems will be able to influence what millions of people will think, will buy, will vote, and will believe without those people fully realizing it. Harari argues that when that happens, the basic promise of a free society that citizens can form their own opinions and make their own choices will begin to weaken from the inside. Albert Camus, whom I quoted in the beginning, writing 80 years ago in a very different time, was asking a remarkably similar question. His question was, what does it mean to remain human when powerful systems, ideologies, and states treat people as statistics, as numbers, as instruments, and therefore expendable? His answer was to insist that if we wanted to remain human, we should, no matter what, hang on to our capacity to say this far and no further, and the courage to say no when an ethical line was being crossed. Seen in this light, Harari and Camus are two different voices describing the same fragile but precious space inside a human being. Harari says that for the first time now, we have technologies, AI and bioengineering, that can know us not from the outside but from the inside, that can change us not from the outside but from the inside. Camus says that whatever the system, no matter what the system is, whether that of a dictator or of an artificially intelligent machine, a human being must never be reduced to a thing. In simple terms, Harari is asking, what are these new powers doing to us as a species? Camus is asking, how can we stand as human beings in front of such powerful powers? Both Harari and Camus are exploring the same landscape, the changing human condition, but from different perspectives. For you, as an audience, this is no longer a debate between two clever writers or two clever philosophers. It is a debate about your own life. If Harari is right, then remember that the tools you are learning to design, build, and use, analytics, algorithms, AI systems, all and none of these tools are neutral. They will shape how people will see the world, how they will see themselves. And if Camus is right, then your response cannot merely be technical. It will have to be deeply personal about whether you will allow yourself to become a happy cog inside someone else's system, or whether you will adamantly hang on to your right to think for yourself. For graduate students and young entrepreneurs assembled here today, I have three things to say. One, first in your life, can you create a little internal distance between yourself and the screens and systems around you, so that every important decision that you take is not merely just your reaction, but a real choice. Second, in your work, when you design a model, when you design a product or a business, can you pause and ask, not only does this work and is it profitable, but also what will this model, this product, or this business do to the people who will use it? Third, in your aspirations and ambitions, quietly please introspect whether you want to be remembered as someone who simply wanted to profit from a powerful technology, or as someone who in his or her own right, in his or her own limited sphere, tries to ensure that the technological wave does not wash away your dignity as a human being. I don't want your answers, but if these questions stay with you after this lecture, then this conversation between us would have done its work by focusing your attention on what kind of a human being you wish to be in an age of intelligent machines. One more thought. Remember, the choices that you will make about AI will not end with you. They will shape you and the world in which your children will grow up. They will determine the kind of person you will become and the kind of human beings your children will be shaped into. That is why it is important to remember that the way you use these immensely powerful tools in your companies, your research, your policies will either widen or reduce the space of freedom for the next generation. It will either make your children data points to be analyzed and managed, or it will reinforce them in the conviction that they are the first and foremost human beings whose lives have a value that no algorithm can ever measure. So, by all means, embrace AI, but do so only after understanding its natures and implications. The question before you is not whether to accept or reject intelligent technology, but how to engage with intelligent technology without surrendering your humanity. And so, I come to the end of the lecture. Regrettably, I have only been able to share my doubts with you, as Camus did while accepting the Nobel Prize for Literature. I have given you no final answers, for the simple reason that I don't have them. But I hope I have raised at least one question that will outlast this conference for many, many years. And the question is this: when history looks back, on this age, whatever else it may or may not do, it will certainly judge whether you in your time engaged with intelligent machines with deliberate intent or slowly surrendered your decisions to them in exchange for optimized efficiency. Ladies and gentlemen, the answers you will give will define your generation and the future of mankind. Jai Hind, Jai Maharashtra.
So a big thank you to him. Hello, hello. So we are done with the plenary sessions now. We are waiting for the guests to arrive. I would request you to please maintain silence till the time our guests are here. Hello.
Hello, hello, hello.
Hello, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3.
Hello.
Hello. I mean, the question can do the rounds in the meanwhile. So if any student or anybody from the audience has a question and that can be thrown across and somebody can go ahead and give the answer for the same. So any questions? Yes.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Nandini. So my question is, in a market focused on speed and time, how can we stay competitive while prioritizing human ethics and autonomy over efficiency?
So anyone from the audience? Yes. Can we have the mic?
Hello, hello. Can you hear me? Okay. So you ask a very valid question that in the competitive environment, right, how the human values and ethics can be optimized, right? Is this the question, right?
Yes, sir.
Wonderful. So I am coming from a corporate world, and I can see 25 years ago I was sitting in this side, and this kind of curiosity question was also there. But now by practicing, by collaborating in industrial environment, I can correlate, and this is my reflection I would like to put in place, right? So reflection is, ethics is above all. And when I say, so I'll give very quick example, right? So when ethics comes, today this research, and I was also one of the members, so when I'm putting perspective of research analysis on head, so more than 27% companies I'm talking, their core values is integrity and ethics. So if you see 5 or 6 values, the first core values would be ethics and integrity. And then companies prefer ethical and integrity employees or talent the first onboarded, so they can go on a longer way, sustainable business, and growth and profit automatically follows them. The brand will build by ethical people, and that's where I will give one best example. When we are in Pune, we cannot forget that is Tata, the company that cares with ethical values. So this is one classical example, and then there are a lot of more examples I can share, but then I can tell one more things. So companies nowadays all shifting, a paradigm shifting is happening to the ESG, safety and then on top of that the ethical values. The young generation, Gen Z, millennial, they are putting a lot of weightage on there, and then for them the first thing which is coming is well-being and mental health, right? When they would think about mental health and well-being, right, first the ethical values would be imbibed, and that would be done from our childhood levels. So in corporate world, organization would be able to attract more talent if they are more ethical and more integrated, or they follow the integrity path. They will bring more things on a table, and then the trust can be built, and then their association with the organization, their loyalty with the organization will increase, right? And then the more it will increase, the more profit will automatically follow. So for me, profit is a byproduct and ethic is a main thing. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir.
Hello. Very well said. Very good afternoon. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Sorry? Yeah, yeah. I can start. Yes. Good afternoon, everyone. Honorable dignitaries on the dais, Chief Guest Dr. Ganesh Natarajan, Chairman of 5F World, GTT World Data Solutions, Lighthouse Communities, EPPS and Honeywell Automation India Limited. Guest of honor, Mr. Gaurav Tripathi, co-founder and CTO of Partex AI, Professor D.R. Karnure, Consultant Director, DYPIMS, Dr. Lalit Prasad, Director, DYPIMS, Dr. Shalaka Parker, Director, DY Patil, PGDMI. Member of the dais, Dr. Nirmala Kumaraswamy, Director of DY Patil Institute of MCA and Management. Eminent academicians, research scholars, and research enthusiasts, participants from the industry, and dear students. Welcome back to the valedictory function of our International Conference 2026 on the theme Business Analytics and Artificial Intelligence for Sustainable and Entrepreneurial Ecosystem in Management, organized by Dr. D.Y. Patil Institute of Management Studies in collaboration with Dr. D.Y. Patil PG Diploma in Management Institute and Dr. D.Y. Patil Institute of MCA and Management. We are honored to have distinguished personalities from the industry joining us today for this closing ceremony. We welcome you all. We have now completed our morning sessions of paper presentations, and I hope you found these research presentations informative and thought-provoking. The world changes when ideas travel from one inspired mind to another. As we close today, we celebrate a conference filled with insights, exchange, and inspiration. We proudly uphold our tradition of honoring the distinguished guests who grace us with their time and guidance. Thus, I invite Dr. Lalit Prasad, Director, DYPIMS, Ganesh Natarajan. I now request Dr. Shalaka Parker, Ma'am, Director, DYP PGDMI, to felicitate our guest of honor, Mr. Gaurav Tripathi. Welcome, Mr. Gaurav Tripathi, sir. Once again request Dr. Lalit Prasad, sir, to felicitate Professor D.R. Karnure, Consultant Director, DYPIMS.
Springboard for young researchers and startups to build resilient, inclusive ecosystems. The discussions for these 2 days were structured across 6 specialized tracks, serving as the backbone of modern management. Track 1, marketing, AI-driven hyper-specialization and sentiment analysis. Track 2, human resources, Navigating Ethical AI and Predictive Analytics for Talent Retention. Track 3, Finance, Driving Inclusion through Robo-Advisors and Blockchain. Track 4, IT Management, Strengthening Firms with Intelligent Automation and Cybersecurity. Track 5, Operations, Utilizing IoT and AI for Green Supply Chains and Waste Reduction. Track 6, Business Analytics, Transitioning from Descriptive to Predictive Analytics for a Competitive Edge. And finally, the IT track, that was the 6th and the final track. Now let me share with you that yesterday's day 1, it was a visionary launch of this conference. The event commenced with the traditional Saraswati Pujan and lighting of the lamp. Opening remarks were given by Dr. Lalit Prasad, Director, DYP IMS, and self, Dr. Shalaka Parkar, Director, DY Patil PGDM Institute, Akurdi. And we set the stage and highlighted the significance of the conference in today's volatile market. This was followed by the inaugural insights by Rear Admiral Amit Vikram, Campus Director, Dr. D.Y. Patil Educational Complex, who delivered a powerful inaugural address emphasizing the integration of technology and sustainability by startups and the necessity of responsible AI application. It was followed by the address by our guest of honor, Dr. Anand Jaiswal, Professor IIM Ahmedabad, demonstrating real-world sectoral examples of AI as an integrated tool. And finally, Professor Devidas Golar, Director, Innovation, Incubation and Linkages, Savitribai Phule University, who was our chief guest. He discussed the rational integration of AI in education to address societal issues and achieve equity. Followed by this were the plenary sessions, which gave a 360-degree global view by distinguished leaders like Mr. Nitin Deshpande, Strategic Advisor, who shared a personal journey from non-tech eras to the current age of machine learning, focusing on AI's unique application in India. This was followed by Dr. Tahir Ikan from Texas State University, USA, who emphasized that the AI arms race is more about institutional redesign than just technical initiatives. This was followed by Dr. Rinker from the Nusantara University, Indonesia, and Dr. Yashwant Thorat, ex-chairman NABARD. Their speeches, which contributed vital perspectives on sustainable innovation and institutional growth. And today, we are here on day 2 of this conference, where the first half witnessed a rigorous series of track-wise research presentations, and now the conference is moving towards its grand conclusion. The final sessions feature 2 of the most visionary minds in the industry. The first one, our guest of honor for the valedictory, Mr. Gaurav Tripathi, who is the CTO of Partex AI, a seasoned tech entrepreneur who bridges the gap between complex AI architecture and successful business ventures. So we are eager to listen to you. And finally, we would be listening to Dr. Ganesh Natarajan, Chairman 5F World and Honeywell Automation India, who is the chief guest of our valedictory today, a legendary leader in digital transformation and social innovation, whose insights have shaped the global IT industry. So it's a true privilege to have you here, and we are eager to listen to your profound perspective from the evolution of the digital ecosystems. We all will be concluding the conference with the Best Paper Awards and the final felicitation ceremony. We here reflect on the collaboration of 3 institutes, led by the Director of DYP IMCAM, Dr. K. Nirmala, Dr. Kavita Suryavanshi, Vice Principal, Dr. Avinash Pawar, Professor, DYP IMS, Dr. Pooja Kapoor, Associate Professor, DYP PGDMI, and the entire organizing team. This event has established new benchmark for academic and industry synergy. To quote Henry IV, and I quote, "Coming together is a beginning, keeping together is progress, and working together is success," unquote. Through this conference, we have definitely celebrated the spirit of collective growth, and we wish all the participants, delegates, and scholars all the very best. May the insights gained here pave the way for a more sustainable and technologically empowered tomorrow. Thank you so much. Wishing all of you all the very best, and thank you for a patient listening.
Hello. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for that comprehensive and insightful summary of the conference. Your words beautifully captured the essence and the achievements of this entire academic gathering. Conferences like these serve as powerful platforms where discussions lead to discoveries and research contributes to societal progress. Gatherings like these become catalysts for new insights and research that shape a better society. We are deeply privileged to have amongst us eminent industry personalities today whose contributions to academia, industry, and research continue to inspire thousands of young minds across the country. So to begin with, let me introduce you all to our guest of honor, Mr. Gaurav Tripathi. Technology and AI are transforming how organizations think, decide, and innovate. We are honored to have with us a visionary leader shaping the future of AI-driven solutions. It is my privilege to introduce you Mr. Gaurav Tripathi, who is a co-founder and CTO of Partex AI, an IIT Bombay alumnus, a pioneer with 45 plus patents across AI, ML, and NLP, and a global speaker recognized with honors such as Business World's 40 Under 40 and the Maharashtra government's Warriors of Change. His contributions to AI and real-world data continue to drive impactful innovations across industries. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together while I invite Mr. Gaurav Tripathi to share his insights. So please.
Thank you. It's really great to be back here. Thanks to Dr. Shlaka for having me here and of course sharing this dais with such eminent, well including Ganeshji. It's really, he's one of those leaders, whom I can say we grew up watching him. Right, so it's really great being here. Last time I was here, it was for the Biz Tank, and that's where I saw there were a lot of aspiring founders competing in that competition. And this time, I see it's all about analytics. So. It's good to see that it's so much of push that is being given by the institute here, and of course I think you are incredibly lucky that you are getting such a platform, and kudos to the institute. The whole institution is a legend, of course, but really great that they are setting up such a platform for you to excel. I would speak about maybe what I call 3 B's. So believe, build, and become. How many of you have heard about Swami Vivekananda? Good to see that everybody. Yeah. So belief is something that's what Swamiji spoke about. Yeah. I think if I can say if there is just one word which should represent him completely, it will be the word belief. And he was convinced that it's really that the most important word that is coming out of, or rather in his words, screaming out of our, whether it is Vedas or Upanishads, and that's what I think his life's mission was, that the youth need to have that belief. And when he marched on to his journey, all around the globe, his purpose of the life itself was that he wanted youth globally, not just in Bharat, but globally, to realize what they are capable of, what this life is all about. And for that, you need to have that belief on yourself first, foremost. And that belief, again, comes from having the right foundations, right? And that's what I think now, being here at such an institution, for sure you need to have, the least that you need to have is self-belief. Yeah, you need to believe in yourself that whatever that you are aspiring for, and this is like, I think I'll say, it's important to dream, okay? That's one of my questions in my interviews. I always ask people, what's your dream in life? And one of the filters is when I am asking for the dream, but the person actually starts answering me like, yeah, in 5 years I want to be manager, and then I'm not asking for your career pathway, right? I'm asking for your dream, right? I think somewhere in our civilizational journey, as a civilization, as people, we lost that courage to dream. And this is where, this is why we don't have the belief, because if you are not even dreaming, or if you are dreaming, but then you have a dream, but you are not even ready to share that dream or to speak up about that dream, that means what you lack is the belief, because you don't have the belief. We are scared to dream, and as that's a longer part. I think now it's like what has happened in last 2 decades at least. We have seen like now the youth is able to dream, because they see that there are so many opportunities, and it's possible to build whatever you want out of this very country. And of course, I don't believe that you should not go abroad. Definitely, feel free wherever you want to go in the world, go, but go with a dream, yeah, and have that belief that whatever that you want to build, you can, right? It does not matter where you are coming from, where you were born, what family you were born in, whatever path it is, right? You need to have that belief, you will be able to build. And that's where the second B is, build. Please don't aspire, that all you are looking for is a great job, okay? That you will be doing a disservice, not just to yourself, but to this institution, and I'll say to the society, if you simply aspire for a job. Right? Build, meaning it's really, think of building things, and right now is the best time. And what truly our society and the nation what needs is more and more entrepreneurs, more and more founders. Right? There is so much that this nation needs to be built. Yeah. So, our Honorable Prime Minister has been talking about Made in India, Atmanirbhar Bharat, and that's where I think this is the best time to be here in the nation, simply because of the opportunities to build. Right? Since it's about analytics and AI, everybody's been talking about, I'll talk about AI. Please don't get all worked up in terms of that. Yes, all the big things are happening in US or China or wherever, and then maybe we are nowhere, or right, or everything kind of, since there is so much of hype and you see so much of things in the PR, I think somewhere people get into that trap that, oh, when these are big things, all of these things require billions of dollars, or there is nothing that we can do probably at our level, right? Don't fall into that trap. Don't believe the hype. Don't believe the PR. Okay? More and more people will tell you, or more and more you will hear in the news or media, or even from a lot of experts, that you should not do this because it's very difficult, to build for example, a language model or a vision model. You will need years you will need this much of investment or all of that. Don't believe that, okay? You need to get to the mindset of a builder, of building things, right? Once you get into that mindset and once you start digging deep, you will find opportunities where you can build things which will differentiate 100%, which will help you not just, let's say build a model, but build a complete business around it, okay? And that's where the third B, please become a founder, okay? Become a founder. It's not, again, it's only about you. And why I decided to be an entrepreneur, because in my third year in IIT Bombay, it was just a chance meeting. I mean, I used to be very persistent in terms of whenever I used to see luminaries, like for example, Ganesh ji, here, all of such leaders used to be there in the campus. I always used to sneak in to get some time from them. Yeah, always used to figure out how to get to them. And I used to ask, like, why did you start? Why are you running a business? And what Narayan Murthy had said at that time, that's what gave me that, yeah, it's not simply that you associate business or a startup or whatever with money. It's not just money, think in terms of the wealth, because when you have a business, you have the resources to invest, you have resources that you can bring about that change in the society that you want. Everything that you see people complaining about, that is your chance to set things right, because you have those resources yourself. That's what becoming a founder, that's what running a business, running an enterprise gives you, right? So don't just think in terms of that, yeah, it's that you have to do something just for yourself. It's a debt from the society, it's a debt from the nation, right? This is the least that you owe, okay? So I'm sure few of you, a lot of you would have come probably smaller towns or villages, right? They don't need just one of you, to get a good job so that you can improve the conditions of your family, right? What they really need, that you build a large business eventually. That is probably you become that catalyst, or you become that change agent which changes that village or that town completely, right? So that's what I think, that's what you should aspire for, become founder. So yeah, that's all I wanted to share. Thank you.
Thank you. Believe in your dream, build something of your own, and become an entrepreneur to bring change in the society. Thank you, sir, for your truly inspiring and encouraging address that has broadened the perspectives and minds of the youngsters sitting here, that will energize their future endeavors. We are truly honored to welcome yet a distinguished industry leader whose contributions to technology, entrepreneurship, and social impact is exemplary. Our chief guest, Dr. Ganesh Natarajan, Chairman of 5F World, Honeywell Automation India Limited, and EPPS, serves on several prestigious boards and is a global partner and active investor across leading venture networks. A Harvard-trained leader with a PhD from IIT Bombay, he has steered organizations like Aptech and Zensar Technologies to exceptional growth. A former chairman of NASSCOM, acclaimed entrepreneur, an author, and a respected voice in the global technology forums, Dr. Natarajan continues to inspire with his remarkable vision and leadership. May I now invite Dr. Ganesh Natarajan, sir, to address the gathering. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Dr. Ganesh Natarajan.
My good friend Nirmala ji, because of whom I'm here, because when she invites me to come, I cannot say no. Even if I'm in America, I have to take a flight back. That's how it works. Everybody on the dais, researchers, faculty members, ladies and gentlemen, it's a real pleasure for me to be here today for two or three reasons which I will mention. Because I genuinely believe that artificial intelligence is getting to the danger of overhype in this country. So we need to kind of be clear on what we are trying to do. Second, I genuinely believe that everybody wants to do a startup. But to do a startup and succeed, you have to be a Gaurav Tripathi. And I'll tell you why. If you look at what he is doing, which I discovered in the 10 minutes before we started this session, he is building an entrepreneurial platform using artificial intelligence, which is working with pharmaceutical companies. So far, everybody can say the same thing. But he actually has confidence in his product and his platform to the extent that he is willing to tell the pharma company, कि boss, आप लोग drug research करो. When the drug starts getting into actual production, then we will charge you money. Now this needs guts. So having said that, how many of you in this room want to be entrepreneurs? Not bad, yeah. डरा नहीं कोई अभी तक. अच्छा. How many of you want to be AI entrepreneurs? Not too many. Why? You don't have a good professor of artificial intelligence. थोड़ा exciting होना चाहिए. Okay, so let me tell you what it takes. Okay, and I still remember my own journey goes back 40 years. But one of the most successful things we did in Zensar Technologies, which is right here in Kharadi in Pune, was that somewhere around 2011, when the digital revolution started really peaking, so we also said that, look, we should really be on the leading edge of digital, like Gaurav is on the leading edge of AI with what he's doing. And we actually formulated our entire strategy around digital to say that, look, we will start working at every level of digital. For instance, if you look at digital, one of the first things that happens when you put data together, etc., is yes, you start doing some what we call descriptive analytics, which means you do analysis, you give computer stationery and reports and dashboards on what happened. But we said the future is not going to be in people knowing what went right or what went wrong in the past. The future is going to be predictive analytics, which really means that a company which is in materials, managing materials or supply chain or whatever, should be able to predict what will go wrong. I mean, you cannot predict that Trump will come. So apart from Trump, you can predict everything else, okay? And so, I mean, you can only predict a person who knows what he wants to do, right? So when the person himself is not sure, then very difficult to predict. But we can certainly predict materials, logistics, supply chain. And very important is that that is where machine learning and AI came in. Because when you have large amounts of data, and you're using that data to get intelligence out of it, that's machine learning, artificial intelligence. So which is really the first time we started experimenting with AI, which is 2011, 15 years back, okay? And then it moves on to what we call prescriptive analytics, which means that not only can you predict what can happen, you can start guiding people towards what they should do. For instance, Amazon. If Amazon tells you that, look, you should buy this book because people like you bought this book earlier, it's prescribing to you what you should be doing. Okay, and you have to be very careful about that because that's what Facebook can do, WhatsApp can do, and so many other people can do. So we started working on an entire chain, as I said, right from descriptive to predictive to prescriptive analytics, and that's really how we started off. And that, I mean, the results of that were outstanding because in the next 5 years, 2011 to 2016, the market value of Zensar Technologies went up 44% per year, which means on the Bombay Stock Exchange, if you bought a Zensar stock in 2011, you'd get 44% per year growth every year in the value till 2016. And that's the one example that I wanted to give you. Second is, let's understand if any of you, the few hands that went up saying, I want to do artificial intelligence. And the reason I'm saying you should understand artificial intelligence, even if you don't become an AI practitioner, is because everything is going to be touched by artificial intelligence. I'll give you one example. I chair this company called Honeywell Automation right here in India. And what does Honeywell do? It's a building automation, process automation, factory automation company. So to give you just one example, many of you would have heard of Saudi Aramco. Saudi Aramco is probably one of the largest oil processing facilities in the world. And the entire process plants of Saudi Aramco, which is all over Saudi Arabia, are monitored from two centers of Honeywell. One is in Houston, Texas in the US, and the other is right here in Pune in Hadapsar. And what it does is we use, for all process monitoring, we use AI at the edge. I mean, when I say AI at the edge of every process, we try and see what can go wrong. So the predictive analytics is there everywhere. So for instance, you can actually inform maybe the process plant head of Saudi Aramco in Riyadh 3 weeks earlier that, look, 3 weeks later, this particular pipe in that section of the process plant might be defective. So it's a good idea to replace it. So because of which process plant uptimes are going up by almost 2 to 3 times. And that's a real high value adding. And like that, I mean, like what he's doing in healthcare or pharma, what somebody's doing in financial services, literally every aspect of AI, I mean, every aspect of a process, of a business process touched by AI. What does it mean? Let me give you an example. Again, this is not new. What I'm trying to tell you is, none of this is invented yesterday by Sam Altman. It's just a progressive process of getting more artificial intelligence to the world. I'll give you one example. 1990, when I was in the US, and this is 1989, I think. In 1989, MIT, which is Massachusetts Institute of Technology, they came up with this very path-breaking research. It was called Management in the 90s. They predicted in the 90s how people would start using information technology or computers. And at that time, they predicted that all organizations would go through 5 stages. The first is what is called internal exploitation, which really means localized exploitation, which means maybe a financial accounting system, an HR system, recruiting system, which many of us knew in that time. Then they said companies would start doing internal integration, which means they would start getting materials and production and sales, etc., to work together on that process. And then the excitement starts, what they call moving from evolution to revolution, which meant then they said people would start looking at their process and saying, look, is my process adequate to use technology? Business process re-engineering. Would start looking at the network, saying how I connect with my suppliers, how I connect with my customers, how I connect with my supply chain partners. Can I use technology there? And finally, this would become so exciting that they would redefine their business scope. The company itself would change because of the push given by technology. Today, if you look at AI, and that's the beauty of what we do, in fact, many of us do a lot of consulting in AI. So when I go and talk to a company, and the company says, "Mujhe bhi AI karna hai." Now, "Mujhe bhi AI karna hai" is almost like I want to go watch a Netflix movie nowadays. As Gaurav was telling me before we started, I mean, he and everybody else under pressure, aapke company ke naam ke aage .ai laga do. Because suddenly the value goes up by 3 times. Nobody needs to understand, but AI is this buzzword, okay? So when somebody says, "Mujhe bhi AI karna hai," especially at the chairman and board of directors level, I ask him, are you willing to completely reimagine your company? Which means not just put one sprinkle of, it's not like some haldi that you put onto your milk or something like that. It's actually rethinking how your organization will work because of AI. So reimagining the company, re-engineering the business process, and then redesigning your human intelligence systems, which is what people will do after you decide what AI will do for you. So if you think about it, when I talked about the MIT research in the 1989-90 period, it was first internal computerization, then BPR or business process reengineering, and then business network redesign. What AI is doing is, it's turning the cycle around, which means that if any of you want to be a consultant in AI, you have to understand business extremely well, because you're going to help your customer, or in your own, if you're doing a startup, your startup will start thinking about, like he's doing, reimagining how drug research is going to be done. So the full process of understanding you need to have, otherwise you can't go and make the promises that Gaurav is making to his clients, saying that we'll charge you after you see results. So that's important. So AI is exactly that. And finally, let me give you where we are. As again, I think Gaurav was mentioning that, we get worried that, oh my God, America is so much ahead. I mean, if any of you know the business value of NVIDIA, it's $4.7 trillion US. It is more than the entire GDP of India, one company's value, okay? I mean, even a JP Morgan Chase is 1 trillion value. So a little company called NVIDIA, as against one of the largest banks in the world, JP Morgan, is 4 times the market value. So that is amazing. If you look at American companies, next year, when I say next year in 2026, cumulatively will invest $900 billion in technology. Look at China. China last year invested $85 billion in technology, out of which government itself put in $65 billion. What about India? Sadly, India has announced $1.2 billion investment in AI over a 5-year period. So people like me who look at these numbers and we say, oh my God, India is so far behind in the race, kya karenge hum? But you must remember that there are many aspects of AI. What our very, very intelligent minister for MeitY, the Ministry of IT, he articulated at the AI summit 2 weeks back. He said, look, we understand that AI is a 5-layer stack. The highest layer is applications, which is everything that what Gaurav is doing, what I talked about, what Honeywell is doing, etc. And applications is where people like you, most of you will get into applications. You will go into a company which says, look, you be part of a team that redesigns this system for materials management or whatever. It doesn't matter what that system is. So the applications layer is where India has always been very strong. And Ashwini ji rightly said that this is one area where all of you should aspire to get into as entrepreneurs, as employees of organizations, as IT companies, as whatever. Okay, so I think that's really how it is. The next layer is what we call the model layer. That can we build models or platforms for applications like he's doing, which can really transform the business of the company. And again, that's an area, if you're an entrepreneur like Gaurav, you should be looking at what new model can I create for which industry. So that's how it will work. The third layer is the infrastructure layer. Now, infrastructure, okay, you can say data centers is part of infrastructure, but that's one area where India has not really played in much. So we're not really into large learning models, LLMs like OpenAI, etc. We are much more into narrow language models or small language models, which is fine because that will help you to build the model. The last two layers are not for us. Okay, it is the data, the data layer is what I should have mentioned, the data layer, then the infrastructure layer, and finally the energy layer. Energy layer will happen when you build all these data centers that the government is talking about, but not for somebody like you sitting in this room who wants to play in the AI business. So just to conclude, what I'm trying to tell you is that take AI seriously, take the whole digital era seriously, because at the end of the day, digital is everything. Today, if you look at Digital India, if you look at the number of people using UPI, Google Pay for instance, it's quite amazing here. I remember I was in America 4 months back, and Chicago airport, I was taking a flight, and I went to the airport 6 o'clock in the morning, very early, and I wanted coffee. So I went to the coffee shop, there was a girl behind it, and I said, no, can I have a cup of coffee? She said, that's $3. I said, okay, no problem. So I took out $5, gave it to her. So she looked at the $5 bill and said, $3. I said, $5, you give me $2 back, that's $3. She said, how does that work? Oh my God, now what do? I had to wait till 6:30 till she got her calculating machine, and then I got the $2 back. On the contrary, three weeks back I was playing golf in the Pune Golf Club. Okay, so at the end of the 5th hole there is a little chai wala. So I went and told the chai wala, "Bhaiya chai chahiye." He says, 20 rupiya. So I gave him a 50 rupee note. He says, "GPay karo na sahab." He was so amazed that I didn't know what GPay was. Kya 50 rupiya de rahe ho? This is the difference between India and America. So be proud of your country, guys. The number of people who are digitally savvy is unbelievable, and it's actually going up on a day-to-day basis. So can we be part of that revolution? Not play golf and drink chai, but actually enable such what Nandan Nilekani did with UPI. It's just amazing. And today we are trying to do it with e-commerce and everything else. So the opportunity is enormous. So I'm saying, instead of going and badgering your placement office ki mujhe naukri nahi mil raha hai or whatever nahi mil raha hai, try and see what you can do by yourself. I think exactly ending with where Gaurav said, try and be an entrepreneur, or at least be entrepreneurial. That when you go into a company, they should love you because you're talking a language which they really want to hear from young people. So don't just say, I want to do programming. Sorry, there are no programming jobs. Okay? ChatGPT has eaten your lunch and taken over your job. But there are multiple jobs for analysts who can apply digital and AI to make that happen. Okay? So I think the ecosystem will get built. It will get built by hopefully all of you in this room who will build the next future of India using digital and AI. And you will be part of a new environment that really puts India on top of the map. Not to worry. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Ganesh Natarajan. We're very fortunate to have you share your insights on this forum. Sir, from his own past experiences, shared what it takes to be an entrepreneur in this digital world. He threw light on the power of AI and data analytics, thus citing through progressive growth examples of Zensar and Honeywell with the use of AI on the edge. Re-strategizing, reimagining your company, re-engineering your processes, redesigning your HR with AI is a must. Thank you, guest of honor and chief guest, for your insightful valedictory address today that perfectly encapsulated the essence of our conference. Moving ahead, we would like to now recognize and appreciate our associate partners for their incredible efforts in their domain of expertise. I request all the honorable members on the dais to come forward on stage to join this celebration. Somewhere. So to give away the awards, first I request our chief guest Dr. Ganesh Natarajan to do the honors. To begin with, I call upon Brand Bucket, honoring visionaries who transform creativity into timeless design. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Brand Bucket. Thank you. Next, I call upon Reliable IT School, who's felicitated for being the best SAP ERP and IT training institute. Can we have Reliable IT School? Let's have a big round of applause for Reliable IT School. Thank you. Next, I invite Shaga Media Private Limited, who is recognized as Best Digital Marketing and Video Production House. So let us congratulate Shaga Media Private Limited. Thank you. Further, I request CityNet Ecology Systems Private Limited to come forward, who is felicitated today with the Excellence in Sustainability Practices Award. Thank you, Dr. Ganesh Natarajan. To felicitate our next awardees, I request our guest of honor, Mr. Gaurav Tripathi, to do the honors. For the same, I invite Ms. Trishna Devgadkar Karande, who's been bestowed with the Women in HR Leadership Excellence Award. Next, I invite Dr. Pradeep Anbavne to receive the Excellence in Sustainability and Management Research Award. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Gaurav Tripathi. We now arrive at the moment where many amongst us have been eagerly anticipating. Now we move to the Best Paper Awards category. Research is the foundation of academic excellence, and this conference have received over 100 papers from scholars and more than 30 from students presented across the last 2 days. After a rigorous review process, it is now time to honor the authors of the best research papers. So under the specialization category, I first request Dr. Ganesh Natarajan sir to give away the awards. We begin with track 1 on marketing management. Before I reveal the names, let me say this category saw some truly impressive competition, and the one whose work truly stood out amongst fierce competition is Dr. Shivani Naik. Can we have Dr. Shivani Naik? Can we have someone take the award on her behalf? We can still have the music going on, sir. And the title of the paper was AI Assisted Sentimental Analytics and Influencer Credibility. Next we move to track 2 on general management. Shining at the very top is Mr. Vineet Sakate. Congratulations, Mr. Vineet Sakate. The title of the paper is Role of Idea Incubation in Successful Corporate Entrepreneurship. It has been co-authored by Dr. Rajesh Pahurkar. Thank you. Next track is on operations and business analytics. Trust me, this one had the judges thinking long and hard. And the best paper in track 3 on operations and business analytics goes to Dr. R. Bala Gopal Krishnan. Congratulations, sir. The paper is co-authored by Dr. Pallavi Kudal and Ms. Maitri Thosar. And the title of the paper is Next Generation Sector Specific Valuation and Deal Pricing Intelligence. Thank you, sir. I now request Mr. Gaurav Tripathi to please give away the awards. Moving further, track 4 is on HRM, Human Resource Management. A brilliant research effort that earned appreciation for Mr. S. Pavan Kumar, Kirupa Priyadarshini and Niranjan Mahabalappa. So congratulations to this team. And the title of the paper is From AI Adoption to Capability Formation. So we have someone taking the award on the team's behalf. Thank you, Dr. Kunal. Going ahead with track 5 on IT management. This one keeps the evaluators on the toes. The best paper in track 5 on IT management goes to Ms. Utkarsha Dete and Dr. Sanjay Azade. The title of the paper is Towards Intelligent Assessments. So we have Mr. Somnath sir collecting the award on the behalf of the team. Once again, congratulations to Utkarsha and Dr. Sanjay. On the go is the track 6 on finance management, and it is a proud moment for Dr. Poonam Vani and Dr. Anuradha Fadnis. Congratulations to them. Can we have someone take the award on their behalf? The title of the paper is Digital Twins and Green Finance. So congratulations, research scholars, based on the specialization category award. Next lined up is the best paper under the students category award. All right, tighten your seat belts, students, because the next award recognizes the brightest young research minds of this conference. I request once again Dr. Natarajan sir to please present the award. Track 1 is on management, and the winners for the same is Ms. Sai Deshpande and Mr. Harshvardhan Patil. The title of the paper is AI Adoption in the Workplace and its Effect on Work Engagement. Thank you, Dr. Natarajan, Dr. Ganesh. Now may I have Mr. Ganesh Tripathi sir give away the next track awards. Best Paper Student Category Award, track for management paper. Drum rolls please. Any guesses? And the winner is? Any guesses from the audience? So the crown of this jewelry of this category goes to Sharp Magdum, Laksh Sharma, Kunal Gangani and Sakshi Randive. And the title of the paper is EcoVision Smart Stick. Congratulations to all the award winners for their outstanding research contributions. Thank you everyone. I request everyone to please occupy their seats on the dais. To the participants who are not taking home an award today, please let me tell you, know that your hard work is sincerely appreciated. Every study, every question, and every insight that was shared here moves the academic dialogue forward. Your research is a stepping stone towards new discoveries, and we thank you for contributing to this journey. It is time to express our sincere gratitude to everyone now who's contributed to the success of this conference, and to deliver the vote of thanks, I invite Professor Dr. Kavita Suryavanshi ma'am, Vice Principal of D.Y. Patil Institute of MCA and Management. Thank you.
Good afternoon, all. All the eminent dignitaries on the dais and off the dais. It's my privilege to propose vote of thanks in this valedictory function of 2 days international conference on business analytics and artificial intelligence for sustainable and entrepreneurial ecosystem in management. At the outset, we are extremely grateful to Honorable Mrs. Supriya Patil, Trustee, and Honorable Dr. Bharat Patil, Executive Director, DYPIMS, and Shri Tejas Patil, Trustee Dr. D.Y. Patil Pratishthan, for their constant support and encouragement. I must mention our deep sense of gratitude to Honorable Rear Admiral Amit Vikram, Campus Director, Dr. D.Y. Patil Educational Complex, Akrudi, respected Dr. Shweta Patil, Managing Director, Quality Assurance, DYPIMS, for inspiration and guidance in the execution of this conference. Further, we are grateful to Professor D.R. Karnore, Consultant Director, DYPIMS, for his cooperation and motivation. I extend a very hearty vote of thanks to Honorable Chief Guest, Dr. Ganesh Natarajan, Chairman, 5F WAL, to grace the occasion by his noble presence and for his remarkable address. Sir, we all are inspired by your great words and the importance of predictive analysis and digital revolution. Thank you, sir. I place on record our deep sense of thanks to respected guest of honor, Mr. Gaurav Tripathi, co-founder and CTO, Partex AI, for delivering a prominent address on 3 mantras of B for a youth who are future leaders of the nation. I unquote. The first, believe yourself. Second, be a creator and build a nation as an Atmanirbhar Bharat. And thirdly, the third mantra was so given to all of us, become a founder. Nevertheless, I would like to take this opportunity to thank Conference Chairman Dr. Lalit Prasad Sir, Director DYPIMS, Dr. K. Nirmala, Director DY Patil Institute of MC and Management, Dr. Shalaka Parker, Director DYP PGDM Institute for their minute-to-minute guidance at every point of a time in the implementation of this international conference. A deep appreciation to the conference or advisory committee members for their timely guidance and the key suggestions. Heartfelt thanks are due to our publication partner, Springo. I express my profound gratitude to all the distinguished external session chairs of various tracks for providing their significant remarks in evaluating the quality of the papers presented during the conference. Most of all, I would like to thank all the enthusiastic delegates and paper presenters who are the budding researchers for their sharing their rigorous research and insightful discussion during these 2 days of a conference. We have been fortunate enough to be backed by a team of people who are very motivated and dedicated colleagues. I must mention my deep sense of gratitude and appreciation for all the faculties, non-teaching staff members, and students of DYPIMS, DYPIMC and Management, and DYP PGDM Institute. Without your everlasting efforts, the conference would not have turned into a grand success. Lastly, I'm thankful to all those who have worked at the backstage and all those who have contributed even in a small way to make this conference happen. I'm thankful to all for your patience listening. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Kavita. Apologize for mixing the names during the award ceremony, Dr. Ganesh Natarajan and Mr. Gaurav Tripathi. Moving ahead, as we come to the close of this day 2 of our international conference, we stand on the threshold of a very special day, that is 8th of March 2026, International Women's Day. And while tomorrow is the official celebration, I believe women deserve to be celebrated not just on one date of the calendar, but every single day of the year. This conference, yes, indeed. This conference, Business Analytics and Artificial Intelligence for Sustainable and Entrepreneurial Ecosystems in Management, could not have been more relevant to this occasion, because if there is one truth the world continues to rediscover, it is this: when women rise, ecosystems rise. When women are given access to knowledge, data, technology, entrepreneurship, and leadership, the entire society progresses. So tomorrow and every day after, I invite each one of you to do something meaningful, celebrate the woman in your life, acknowledge their strength, their resilience, their brilliance, encourage them to learn, to lead, to innovate, to step into the spaces where data, technology, and leadership converge. And more importantly, stand with them, support them, and believe in them, not just on Women's Day, but every day. Here's to innovation, here's to progress, and here's to celebrating women today, tomorrow, and forever. Ladies and gentlemen, now may I request everyone to kindly rise for the national anthem.
भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड़ उत्कल बंग विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्छल जलधि तरंगा तब शुभ नामे जागे तब शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तब जय गाथा जन गण मंगल गायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे
Thank you everyone. I request all the paper presenters and the participants of the conference to collect their certificates at the reception counter. We'll have a quick photograph, a group photograph of the organizing committee institute, starting with DYPIMS. So may I request the teaching and non-teaching staff of DYPIMS to come on stage and have a group photograph, followed by the next two institutes. Thank you. Can we have the next two institutes, that is DY Patil MCN Management Institute along with PGDMI Institute, come on stage for a group photograph. So respected Nirmala ma'am is missing in the photograph. So let's everyone have. Yeah, that's what. So let's have everybody come downstairs with the audience, and Nirmala ma'am, we can have a group photograph. Yes, ma'am. All the students are requested to please stand up, rise, so that you all will be visible. Okay. Backstage committee member, one of you can come here. We need all the chairs on the sides. Quickly kar lo, so that photo mein aao.